carpet. Okay, so I'm Hannah Wilder, and I'm very pleased to introduce you to Colleen Kennedy. She loves using yoga as a way to heal, meditate, and connect to herself and to others. She feels that it's her soul's purpose to help us connect back to the divine beings that we are and to become empowered through self-love and remembering our soul's purpose. She's very much looking forward to this convention. Please join me in welcoming Colleen.
Hi guys, well thank you for that introduction.
You're welcome.
I don't think I could have said it any better than myself. So how's everybody feeling this morning?
Great.
What have you guys done so far?
Woke up.
Woke up? Have you guys even had your coffee?
Yes, thanks to Starbucks.
Alright. So if I could just have everybody stand up for a moment. We can just stand and actually, take up some space throughout the room. So you can stand wherever you'd like, just enough so you have like maybe a wingspan of space. So everybody, how's it feel to have your shoes off?
Great.
So they call this earthing, although it's more so when you're actually on the earth and not carpet. But it was told to me once that if you ever forget where you come from, just stick your fingers in the dirt or stick your feet in the ground, and to really ground the body and ground your energy back to the earth and help you to become present in whatever it is that you're doing. So what that looks like for me, a lot of times is going to the beach and like twirling my toes in the sand. All right. Let's see. I'll do a little bit of music on for you guys. All right, so we'll just take a moment and we'll stand with our feet hips width distance apart. So really feel all four corners of your feet grounding down into the earth. You can have your arms by your side if that feels comfortable for you and kind of sway them side to side. Maybe even do a little bit of this, just kind of get all that tension out of your arms, allow them to hang heavy by your sides. And so we're going to stand, so you're going to tuck your belly button in towards your spine, so you're engaging your abdominal wall. And then you're gently going to close your eyes and give a slight tuck of your chin towards your chest. And so from here, you're going to have your arms out, arms down by your side, palms face out. And together we'll take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, fill up the belly, holding at the top, open mouth, exhale, side out. Very nice. We'll take another one just like that. Inhale through the nose, fill up the belly, feel the lungs expand, the chest, holding at the top. Open mouth, exhale, side out. We'll take one more on your own. Inhale, filling up the belly, holding for as long as feels comfortable in your body. And when you're ready, you can release. From here, keeping the eyes closed, just take a moment to do a full body scan. Just starting down at the tips of your toes, just noticing maybe wiggling the toes on the earth. Really becoming aware of your body. Drawing the awareness through your feet, past your ankles, maybe up the shins and the calves, all the way up to the knees, maybe kind of giving your calf muscles a little squeeze. And scanning all the way up your thighs, to your hips. Maybe if you get to your hips, maybe doing like some hip circles, just finding a little bit of movement. Allowing your body to move in whatever way it is that you're guided to. Knowing there is no wrong answer. Using your intuition, allowing yourself to be guided without judgment. ready, you can draw that awareness up your abdomen, beginning to crawl up the spine, coming into our heart center. From here, if you would like, you can place one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. I usually like to place my left over my heart, my right hand at my solar plexus, so about 2 or 3 inches above your belly button. And just on your own, begin to take a few deep breaths, feeling what it feels like to have your heart beat beneath your hands. Drawing your awareness through your heart, up your throat, noticing what your throat feels like this morning. If there are any blockages, if it needs to be cleared, if it feels as if it is a clear channel already. So simply noticing these things without judging. Still continuing to take those deep belly breaths. Draw the awareness up through your chin, relaxing your jaw, maybe wiggle your jaw from side to side, relieving any tension. Relaxing the eyebrows, all the facial muscles. And drawing your awareness now to the very top of your head. And imagining that there is a golden light that is hovering about 2 inches above your head. This golden light, see if you can feel the warmth or maybe any tingling sensations in your body from this golden light. Giving yourselves permission to connect to the divine, to unconditional love. Imagine that golden light growing bigger and bigger. And when you're ready, inviting that golden light to drop down from the heavens through the crown of your head, going past your eyes, behind the eyes, through the nose and the mouth, down the back of the throat, landing in your heart space. So filling up your entire chest with this golden light. Begin to send a stream of light out of your heart, connecting to all of those that are in this room. So connecting our hearts together. Imagine that golden stream of light connecting outside of this room to all of those that are here today. Filling up your homes, connecting to all the people that may live in your home with you, your animals, your children. And connecting our hearts together through this golden light. And sending it out to everyone in the world. And gently relax your hands back down by your sides if they're not already there. Still keeping the eyes closed. Let's take one cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, fill up the belly, feel the chest expand. Hold at the top for 3, 2, 1. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Very nice. Gently begin to open the eyes when you're ready, no rush. How's everyone feeling? Relaxed? That's a good word. I love that word. So from here, keeping your feet hips width distance, you can kind of bend into your ankles or into your knees if you'd like. I know we've been standing for a little while. Get some blood flow back in there. And if you would like to have a seat for this part, you may. I would invite you to stand, but if you want to have a seat, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So from here, bringing the feet hips width distance apart again, whatever feels good for you. Keeping a slight bend into the knees, not locking out the knees. right? So we're going to keep a slight bend. Inhale your arms out and up overhead, gazing up at your thumbs. Take one inhale, reach your fingertips towards the heavens. And as you exhale, hands to prayer, draw it down through heart center. Very nice. Really press those thumbs into your heart into thumbs, squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you, elbows out wide. Relaxing the shoulders down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms out and up, gazing up at your thumbs, reaching for the heavens. And exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. We'll do that one more time. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, draw them through heart center. From here, I invite you to close the eyes. We'll set an intention for this space that we are holding with each other. That intention could be for yourself or for someone else. Holding that intention in your heart. When you're ready, we'll seal that intention into our time here by taking one more inhale with the arms out and up. And exhale, draw the hands through heart center. Release. Very nice. All right. How are you guys feeling right now?
Happy?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's do this. Let's inhale the arms out and up. And this time, as you exhale, draw your hands through heart center, hinging at your hips, slowly folding forward. Your fingertips don't have to reach the ground. So from here, give a very generous bend into your knees. Allow your belly to drape over your thighs. This is an inversion. Your head is below your heart, reversing the blood flow. So this is a release for your low back. The more you bend into your knees, allow your arms to just hang. You can either grab for each elbow, maybe sway gently side to side. Maybe bend into one leg and then the other. The more you bend into your knees, the more of a release it will be for your low back. When you're ready, we'll find stillness and center. Release the hands down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your fingertips towards your shins, keeping a flat back. Gaze is down at the earth. Exhale, gently fold a little bit deeper. And as you inhale, root to rise, press down through the heels of the feet. Slowly come to rise to standing. One vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhaling the arms out and up. And exhale, draw them down through heart center. How did that feel for you guys on your bodies? I'm going to make sure to honor your bodies. So whatever does not feel good in your bodies, know that what I provide for you is a suggestion. It's not do or die. So if something doesn't feel good to you, please, you're welcome to do whatever it is that feels good to you. Okay? So let's try that one more time. We'll flow breath to movement. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, draw your hands through. Here we go. Inhale, out and up. As you exhale, draw your hands through, hinge at your hips and fold forward. Lead with your heart down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips come to your shins, keeping a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, coming all the way to standing slowly. There is no rush. Arms out and up. And exhale, draw them through heart center. You guys want to do that again, or are you feeling it? All right, we'll do it one more time. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, lead with your heart, folding all the way down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, slowly coming all the way to standing. Arms out and up overhead. This time, drop down your right arm. With your left fingertips, inhale, reach towards the sky. And as you exhale, bending over to the right, bump your hips over to the left. So really getting a nice side body stretch in there through all your intercostal muscles, your ribs. Draw your navel in towards your spine, so basically suck your tummy in, protecting the spine here. One more breath. Inhale, both arms back up. Exhale, left hand down. Right fingertips go over to the left. Inhale, both arms back to center. Exhale, hands through heart center. Alright, and then from here just find some movement. So before you go back to you guys can take a seat, like I said, either in your chairs or if you wanted to sit on the ground, it's up to you, whatever is the most comfortable for you. So I definitely, let's see, it's kind of challenging. So if you are sitting on the ground, see if you can cross your right ankle in front of the left. So just kind of doing something different. Maybe even moving the meat underneath your booty, really getting your sits bones to connect to the earth. So we're going to do something called nadi breathing, which is alternate nostril breathing. This is one of the practices I use pretty frequently. It's really, really good for balancing out right brain, left brain. All right, so we're going to sit with a tall spine, slight tuck of your pelvis underneath. So imagine that your pelvis was like a bowl shape, and so you're tucking it under just gently, as if there's water in there that you don't want to spill out. So from here, you're going to take your right hand. Your middle finger is going to go to your third eye center, your center of intuition, one of the ways that we can connect to God and Source and higher power. Taking your thumb, placing it over your right nostril, keeping the left open. We're going to inhale through the left nostril. Hold, using your ring finger to plug the left nostril. Just exhale out of your right nostril. Inhale through the right. Hold, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold, exhale through the right. Inhale to the right. And hold, exhale out of the left. We'll do that 5 more times on each side. And when you're ready, you can drop your hands down into your lap. Moving on your own breath here, allowing yourself to be guided. Once you have completed your 5 rounds, keeping the eyes closed, just begin to tune into your body, noticing any differences, noticing any feelings, any emotions that may come up.
Peace.
seeing if you can really ground down into any of these feelings that are beginning to rise for you. So if you are feeling peace, how can we go further into peace? How can I ground my body further into embodying the feeling of peace? When you feel content in your being, I invite you to gently open your eyes, knowing that there is no rush. Welcoming yourself back here with us. What a beautiful silence. Such a beautiful thing to hear people breathing. It's what we take for granted so often. If you're doing the Nadi breathing, or Nadi as in N-H-A-D-I, by the way, not naughty. I mean, you could probably make it that way. But Nadi breathing, that alternate nostril breathing, as I said before, it really helps to balance out the left and right brain. So I don't know, for me, I noticed this morning doing it that I had some more congestion on my right side than I did on my left. And it was in the beginning, and then as I kept breathing, I was able to kind of work through that and to really create a clear channel for me. And it's also really important when we're doing any kind of breath work or meditation, or even like in yoga, not all postures, but it's important to keep a tall spine. You know, to protect the spine, to take care of the spine. The spine, if you think about it, when you sit, is our connection to the earth and our channel to the heavens, right? And so if we're putting ourselves in a position where we can really receive information, where we receive these messages, being able to be those messengers, like keeping the spine tall and erect, keeping ourselves a clear channel open to that is really important if we're going to be carrying out these messages, which I feel like a lot of you here are doing, and I'm so grateful for that. So, let's see. I have until 9, correct? 9?
I have a question.
I think 9, yes.
What if you see color?
If you see color,
Yeah.
that's amazing. What color did you see?
Green and purple?
Green, yeah. So, when you were doing the breathing?
Yes.
That's-
Well, as I was.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the chakras, but there are said to be energy centers that actually run along the spine, that start at at your base of your spine. And a lot of these are equivalated to different colors. And green, I believe, is crown chakra. I'm not too familiar with the colors, but there are, I think I know throat is blue, because I've done a lot of work on my throat. But that's awesome. So seeing colors is, so the one thing I would definitely invite you guys to do is whatever you see when you're doing these things, is a lot of times things will come up and then the logic brain will try to explain it.
Right.
The logic brain will try to like disprove it or discredit it.
Oh, and it's kind of brings me kind of fear, because it gets so like in and out, to where I feel like I'm gonna, and I open my eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
I'm unfamiliar with it. That's
Sure,
all, I guess.
yeah. So using the breath. Your breath is your power.
Okay.
And a lot of times, if you guys want to also, what I do usually before I meditate is I call on my angels. So I call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael. I call in all of these very high energies, these very protective energies to be with me. And then I feel myself being surrounded by all of this love. And then I know that I'm safe to journey through myself. So I would say that if it does bring you fear, totally normal, like I get that, and thank you for sharing that. And I would just invite you to use your breath and to also call on your angels, or call on, whatever it is that really brings you that comfort and that peace, and that makes you feel protected. And also knowing that whatever it is that comes up for you, I think that there's a fear when we meditate and we go inward because we're afraid to lose control. And knowing that You always have control. You always have say. You are a powerful being, and you get to dictate how these things, when they come, how far they get to come to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a really good question. Thank you for sharing that. That is awesome. I'm glad you got to see. I'm a little jealous. You're going to tell us this morning. Anybody else have any other questions? So I think the goal of yoga for me is a way to really embody the body. So a lot of times we try to transcend the body. And we do that through prayer and meditation, which is great. Yoga is a moving meditation, meaning that when I'm actually here on the ground, especially on my mat, it's like all my business is right here on the four corners of this mat. And so it actually forces me to be with myself. It gives me the opportunity, I should say, to be with myself and to be very cognizant and aware of what's going on inside of me. And so one of the ways that I like to use yoga for people in particular as far as like healing is that there are certain poses. So if you guys want to, you can try this. I don't know how clean the floor is, but so something child's pose is a great posture. It's one of my favorite. That and Shavasana, which is corpse pose at the very end where you just lay there. One time last week I took a 30-minute Shavasana. It's possible. All right, so if you want to try and do the child's pose with me, so you're going to draw your big toes to touch, knees out wide. You can sink your butt back down to your heels. And then slowly, just like kind of like a tiger, just gently crawling your palms forward, placing your forehead on the earth. Drawing your knees as wide as feels comfortable. If you want more of a stretch into your shoulders, you can begin to tent your fingers up where they are at. And from here, take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly. Open mouth exhale, allow your heart to sink closer to the earth. Child's pose is a wonderful place to be, to feel held and to feel loved, and to really feel this feeling of what we call surrendering. If you would like to stay in this place, you are welcome to. And if you're ready to come out, gently begin to crawl your hands back towards your heart, pressing up onto the palms. How did that feel for you guys? Yeah, it's like one of my favorite things ever. So there are a lot of different postures. So as far as if you were to incorporate yoga, people think yoga is stretching. And they say, I'm not flexible enough to do yoga. And doing alternate nostril breathing is doing yoga. So it does not have to be, you don't have to do handstands, you don't have to get upside down. Like I said, even just doing this forward fold here, having your head hang below the heart, that is an inversion. You're reversing the blood flow when your head hangs below the heart, right? And so that's one thing that a lot of people are intimidated by yoga because they feel that, they're like, oh, my body just can't move in that way. And it can, but it doesn't have to look a particular way. So yoga and meditation for me, and this is just my own opinion, I don't know how much it means, but in my experience, it's just what brings me back to myself and brings me back to my God. That's it. And I use the breath a lot. And really, any good yoga teacher will tell you that yoga is only about the breath. It is not about the posture. It is not about what it looks like. It is about how connected, how deep can you get the breath. And when you think about it, we live in a society where the majority of us sit at a desk all day, or we sit in chairs. Chairs are not a normal invention for the body, by the way. We're not meant to do that. And actually, has anybody heard the squatty potty? It's a great thing, I love it. And that is actually how we're supposed to use the bathroom, is in this way, right? Really wide open hips. In India, they actually sit like this. And In China, they sit like this and smoke a cigarette on the street. But this is the way that we were intended to really sit, actually, is to keep those hips open, keeping ourselves open to receiving, I guess, would be the right way to say it, but then you think about going to the bathroom, and that's a weird way. And even giving birth. You know, women were meant to give birth in that way. So, as much as you can, so there's something called chair yoga too. And just real quick, I'll share with you that if you do sit at a desk all day, or what you can share with your loved ones, is that when you sit in a chair, you can do yoga, and it's very simple, and it's by doing exactly what we did, is inhaling the arms out and up, and exhaling, drawing your hands to prayer through heart center, right? And so it's like, all this is doing, you're getting a little bit of blood flow here, and you're also pulling this energy down from the heavens, bringing it into your heart space. You know, I actually do this, I'm in the Navy, and so it's really fun to do this at my desk, because people kind of like, they're used to it by now. But I do that. I will do that sometimes during the day, is just to do this, and to really like expand my heart to the sky, right? Because we're so closed. Everything we do is we're closing our hearts. We're closing our hearts. Can't say it. We're closing our hearts. It's really, really sad, you guys. So by just doing this, by sitting with the tall spine, that's why it's really important, once again, to sit with that tall spine. If you notice you have low back pain when you sit with a tall spine, try engaging your abdominals. Try really sucking your belly in, okay? It doesn't have to be to the point where you're about to lose your breath here. But really engaging those abdominals, that's what's protecting your spine, right? And using the breath, like this is something you can do. We use breath all the time, but these particular practices, like the alternate nostril breathing and then just doing these right here, these are ways in which you can actually calm you can kick in the parasympathetic nervous system, so you calm the body. So everything begins to slow down. And we know that when we're slowed down, we're more open to receiving, right? Whether it be from around us, above us, whatever. And so when we're in that heightened state of anxiety and of fear, then all of these, it's like this energy in the body is moving really, really rapidly. And so when you use the breath, we slow all of that down. And the breath is extremely powerful. And it's something that people have a really challenging time with. And so what I would say is like to incorporate for your loved ones is just working on breath at first. Knowing that that is yoga and that is a meditation. The act of yoga, the physical postures of yoga, are more of a moving meditation. But it also doesn't have to be really challenging as far as like, I always tell people, I'm like, they say I can't meditate, and I'm like, you don't have to Yoda the shit out of it, like, pardon my French, but I'm like, people think of like Yoda, and they're like, you know, and I'm like, you don't have to do that. You know, that doesn't have to be meditation. It doesn't look that way for me. You know, sometimes just swimming in the ocean is my meditation. It's whatever brings you back to center. And it's whatever really allows you to connect to your breath, and through the breath is the way that we connect to God. I think that's my spiel. Does anybody have any questions?
What time did it say we had?
I think it was supposed to end at
The
9.
next workshop is at 9:40. So I don't know for a whole hour.
Yeah, I think you have longer.
My email said 8:30 to 9. I mean, we can go. We can keep going. Like
That would enable
I'm
you to get coffee, it would enable you to visit with people.
I had another question on
yeah.
the breathing.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes it's hard to connect with my breathing when my mind is not connecting.
Totally.
Like I'm thinking of, I'm hearing your voice, I'm hearing noises, and I'm breathing, and you're speaking, and you're guiding us through breathing the entire divine, and I'm like trying to listen to you and do that, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm like all over the place.
Totally. Yeah. Thank you for
For
bringing
someone
that up.
like me who's has a lot of her mind.
Yeah, totally. So that's a really good thing to bring up. A lot of times what happens is we start to try and quiet the mind, and then our external environment gets in the way, or even ourselves get in the way, right? So we have all these thoughts that come in, and it's okay. And so that's why people shut themselves off from meditations, because they think they're doing it wrong. And so meditation, like actually tuning in, it's a muscle. And like anything else, it has to be trained. So it's like I can't just expect to go to the gym and lift a 50-pound
So
weight.
with time, okay.
So it's over time, so it's the more that we tune into that muscle, the more that we train it, the easier it will become.
Okay.
So one thing to do in the beginning when you're experiencing that and having those intrusive thoughts is to think, a lot of times in my meditation, I will picture myself by a stream, a river, and the water is gently flowing, and any of those thoughts that come in, I will imagine putting them into the river and watching them float away. Or what you can also do as another meditation is to actually tune in to 5 things that you hear around you. This is a great, quick practice to do in general. And you can do it in public or you can do it wherever you're at. Is just to stop and close your eyes and tune into what's going on around you, and pick out 5 things that you hear. So I hear the rustling of the paper. I hear people breathing, all this stuff. And ultimately, what that actually does, transversely, is it brings you back to center.
Okay.
So it's not about denying ourselves, it's just about embracing it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank
Awesome.
Is it okay to have a mantra?
Yeah, girl.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Well,
Mantras
not
are great.
okay, but I mean, is that, as you're, is that more of a distraction to just letting the mind and the, your breathing?
That's a really good question. And I would say that depends on you. So if it becomes, so mantras are basically words that you can use, or syllables that you can use over and over again on a repetitive basis in order to either open up or to tune in or connect or whatever it looks like for you. So my mantras change pretty frequently. And so sometimes my mantra will be I open myself up as a clear channel. I open myself up as a clear channel. And so what I would say is that if you use a mantra and it does get in the way and you feel that it's not really serving you, don't do it. So, and that's the cool thing, right? Is that all this is trial and error. I can sit up here all day and tell you the things that I've done, but I'm not here to tell you that they are the one and only way. And that this is the particular route that you have to take to get there. It's a beautiful experiment that you get to decide for yourself. So for some people, mantras work really, really well. For other people, they don't work well. And that's okay. So yeah, it's great to have a mantra. And if it works for you today and doesn't tomorrow, then that's awesome.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I was just wondering, what is the minimum amount of yoga time you should spend a day?
Minimum amount of yoga time you should spend a day. I think there again it goes back to that saying of, you know how people tell us, or doctors say you should get 30 minutes of exercise a day, and we should eat 3 meals a day. Guess what? We're all different. We're all different. So for some, maybe I need 30 minutes of exercise a day. Maybe you only need 10. Maybe all it takes is 10 for you to get there, and that's okay. So I would say starting with 3 to 5 minutes of meditation, of really focusing on your breath. If you wanted to do the movement, you can do that for 3 to 5 minutes or however long you can go on for. It's really up to you. It's a very personal experience. So that's a really, really good question. I would just invite you to explore it and to see what feels good in your body. Yeah.
So, this is the email I got last night.
Okay. 8:30 to 9:30. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this whole thing was improvised. Okay, so I guess you guys are filling out those papers right now, which is great. Awesome. Thank you for taking pictures. I appreciate that. Let me ask you guys this. What do you think of when you think of yoga?
Strange postures.
Strange postures.
Hard. I thought it was hard.
Difficult, you mean heart? Heart. I thought I heard heart. That's where my mind's at.
I think of stretching to the limit.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Stretching to the
that's
limit.
good or not.
Okay.
I think it's difficult because sometimes to have peace with oneself
Sure.
and get to know oneself is, since for me, I'm always thinking of other people and being a mom and being a daughter, and it's just always other people, and
Right.
be connected with oneself and the higher divine difficult, challenging for me.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. That's a common challenge I think we've all been through or are currently in. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And that is something that we are so trying to think how to say this like nicely. We are so consumed with our external environment that we believe that it creates our internal state. And it's actually quite the contrary. Our internal state is what creates our external environment. And so for a lot of us, we invest ourselves in our families, and we invest ourselves in our job. And what that does in turn is that we think that by investing ourselves in all of these things outside of us, that is going to create this sense of happiness within. And it is the exact opposite. So, and then the way to do that, to create that happiness within, is through spending time with yourself. And I realize that that's hard for a lot of us because we do have families and we do have responsibilities and we have all this stuff going on pretty much all the time. What I would say is that there again, it can be 3 to 5 minutes of just you time. If you only get it in the car when you get to the parking lot of your workplace, if that's the only time that you get to actually focus on you, take it. Take it, take it, take it. Any small amount of time that you are provided with, take it. And the cool thing is that we're always receiving signs, right? We're always receiving information, whether it be from the outside, from up there, like we're always receiving, right? And so it's like, allow yourself to receive, give yourself permission to receive, knowing that you are a divine being of light and love, and you have a right to be here. And your purpose in being here, although you are a mother and you are a daughter and you are a friend and you are a citizen of this country, which is amazing, although you are these labels, you don't have to attach yourself to them. So whatever you feel your soul's purpose is, if you don't know what your soul's purpose is, then it's about going in to go up. And this is the other thing too, is like the more we ground into the body, the more we will transcend. So a lot of us are trying to escape the body right now. Collectively, the energy right now is like everybody wants to go out to go in. But it's going in that allows us to go out. It's really learning how to embody this body.
And I think of yoga as a focus, you know, as a way to center your energy.
Yeah.
But I really like what you presented because it made it more spiritual for me. And usually it's more like, okay, I'm physical, I'm out
A
here,
workout?
I'm stretching, you know, I'm getting myself loosened up for the day.
Yeah.
But I liked your idea of bringing in, you know, this yellow light.
Yeah, golden light. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that. Yeah, we are very, we have enough stimulation, as I've said before, in our environment that I think it's really beneficial when we get to tune in to ourselves.
I've done a lot of work with Chopra.
Nice! I love that guy.
Yeah, and
A little
if
social
anybody
awkward, but
is interested in learning more about chakras and meditation and combining it with yoga, if you just go to chopra.com, it's wonderful, and to have his center right in Carlsbad
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful place. If you haven't been, thank you for mentioning that. If you haven't been, it is an amazing place to go. He has the meditation gardens, and I remember the first time that I went, you're supposed to be quiet through the whole place. And I didn't know that, and I saw koi fish, and I was like, oh, look at the fish! And there was like, shh. I was like, not a quiet person. So it's challenging for me, too. I have to learn how to, like, you know, really tune in here. Yeah.
I have trouble sleeping.
Uh-huh.
I'm a hyperactive brain going 24/7.
Welcome to the club.
And so I've used a lot of things to help relax. And one is essential oils.
Yeah.
And in learning about essential oils, I found that frankincense was a good one for people who needed to relax and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's the points that you put it on that was also important. One being the third eye. Places at 100. This place up here on the top of the head.
Yeah.
100 meetings, I think it's called, and so you
Interesting.
hold the drop and you have have to get quiet and hold it for a minute, and here too. And there was another space here, I can't remember the name of it,
Solar plexus?
but it had an, so I can't remember, I think they're acupuncture points, that's the names I'm using maybe?
Or like Chinese medicine stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
But this, today, and doing the breathing, that is the most relaxed I have ever been in my life. So
that's
I
beautiful.
gotta incorporate this.
Yeah.
It was just great. And it was the hearing the breathing of everyone in the room.
Yeah. Isn't it powerful? So there's something that I will want to do before we close out. Has anybody ever ohmed?
Yeah. Well, I know
Yeah?
what it is, but.
So thank you for sharing that. That's really beautiful. And one of the things that, because see, this is what we're doing. What I love about yoga is that we're moving energy in the body. So a lot of us have very stagnant energy, and it's cut off because of just our day-to-day lives, you know. And we begin to get, we have to filter through a lot of stuff. And so what I love about yoga is the ability to move the body physically and using the breath. The breath gets to go into all these nooks and crannies of the body and gets to like loosen up that stuck energy and moves it out, right? And so this is the other thing too, is that when I'm moving energy, I make sure to move it in love. Okay, so that's really important. Anytime that you're cleansing, like I hear a lot of people doing cleansing and getting rid of a lot of stuff, and I'm like, great, what are you putting in place of it? Because if you're not clear about what you want to put in place of it, anything will come in. You may not like what it is. So if you're going to cleanse and clear and remove things out of your body, or your spirit, or your psyche, or whatever, rock on. Be very, very clear about what you want to put in its place. So if you're moving it out, say, I'm putting in its place love and light. Only love and light can dwell and exist within this place. I call on the angels to be here to protect this space. That's it. Very simple. And when you do that, then it's like, and it's all about perception too. Like, sometimes my girlfriends, for instance, will go through a breakup. And they'll say, oh, I'm so lonely now. Like, there's this hole, this part of me is missing. And I say, well then, you know, when they say, that was my other half. And I say, so you mean you're only half of a person without them? Like, that doesn't make sense. But they have this idea that there is a hole, a void that needs to be filled, that this person in particular may have filled for them. And what I always invite them to do is to look at it as, no, you have an opportunity to put in there what it is you want. Because now you have cleared that place out. So I just use that as an example. You've cleared that place out. That person is gone. So there is this place that you get to decide what goes in there. And you get to fill it with love. And that's amazing. Because I don't know about you, but I only want love here.
Yeah, me too.
So if you ain't aligned with my love, you get to go on. And I'm so happy for that. So, yeah, you guys are much more in tune than I anticipated. I love that. That's so beautiful. I want to thank you guys for being open to receiving. Because, I mean, seriously, because this is, believe it or not, this is really challenging information for some people to even listen to. And so it is an honor for me to be here with you guys and to be able to share this with you and to have it be received in love. Whether you agree with me or not, like, that doesn't even matter. But the fact that you're holding space for me and you're hearing me, like, good job. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love you guys so much. I really, really do. I'm so, so grateful and appreciative. Does anybody have any questions before we kind of close out here? I would definitely like to do some oming, because it's super, super fun.
I just want to say thank you. It really helped a lot, just starting the morning.
Yay, I'm so glad.
Very honored.
Now
Very
you guys get
rare.
to be fairies and like just go live, receive all this love. And I love it. So if we could kind of gather in a circle, you're welcome to stay in the chairs if that feels comfortable for you. But if we can kind of close in a circle here. So once again, we're going to sit with a tall spine. So whatever way is comfortable for you, and whatever way helps you to feel connected, grounded, and clear. We're just going to take a cleansing breath together. So inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, release. Keeping the eyes closed, we're going to do something that's called a lion's breath, which is where we inhale through the nose, and as we exhale, we stick our tongue out. So if you guys want to actually open your eyes for just a moment, you can watch me, I don't mind. And it goes a little something like this. So you inhale, and exhale. It's really, really fun. So we're going to do that once or twice. And like I said, I invite you to close the eyes here. Really tune into yourself, become aware and present with you. And when you're ready, we'll inhale through the nose. Take a cleansing breath, sigh it out. Now we'll do our lion's breath. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, stick your tongue out.
That made me laugh.
That's great, that's great. All right, so we're gonna do that again. And so this time really put some oomph behind it. So not just sticking the tongue out like, right? So we're gonna be like, use your voice, use that power, that energy. Let's get rid of some stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. Let's get it out of the body, really cleansing, really pulling it out. So we're gonna inhale through the nose. We'll take a cleansing breath. Release. All right, inhale through the nose. Lion's breath, stick your tongue out. Yeah, awesome. So let's do that again, and if you're on the floor, I invite you to bring your palms down to the floor. So this is where we can start to really feel like a I was gonna say a liger. A liger. Yeah, I got Napoleon in my mind. So to do this lion's breath, so really kind of like, just take a moment, maybe sway side to side, really kind of get into that primal side. Just moving your body however it wants to move without judging. Just become a witness to what's going on inside yourself. All right, we're gonna inhale. We're gonna take a cleansing breath here. Release. All right, now that we're lions on the ground here, let's do our lion's breath. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, stick your tongue out. Yeah. We'll do it again. Laughing is good. Let it out. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, stick your tongue out. Yeah. Yeah, I heard something over here that I liked. That was awesome. And slowly coming back in. Just noticing how your body feels right now.
Lighter.
Lighter, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we just, yeah. Just letting it out. Letting it out. Whatever needs to come out. And that's the thing, is that too often we judge ourselves for what's in here. And in reality, it's like what's in here is, it's going to come out. It's going to manifest in some way. And the beauty of it is that you get to be the co-creator of how that happens. You and your God get to co-create together to make the decision of how you are going to show up in your life. And how you are going to manifest these things, and whether you get to either stand in love or you don't. It's really simple. All right. So it's just kind of like, I need to gather myself. I feel like I just, we'll just kind of gather ourselves. Saying this to you, meaning it for me. Gathering ourselves, pulling our energy back here. Maybe kind of rolling out the neck. Once again, just allowing your body to do whatever it needs to do. Allowing her, allowing him to move. You guys are aware we have masculine and feminine within us, correct? Yes. Yeah. So tapping into that primal side is a way to release that masculine. And then really bringing it back and collecting ourselves is a way to step into the feminine. So one thing I will say right now that I had a download, if you will. We're so focused on either masculine or feminine. We are a very masculine-driven country, being that we have a lot of intense masculine energy that is being brought forward. And so now, it's almost like we are on the opposite of people are starting to say, women are starting to gather, right? Women are gathering collectively and starting to really embody, becoming empowered. And they are gathering, and it's beautiful, okay? And I am not saying don't gather. However, what I'm saying is that when you look at it, if we can take a step back, what we're seeing is there's a lot of masculinity that has been power-driven for a long time, and so now women or even some men are really wanting to step into the divine feminine and allow that to rise. But here's what the answer is. It doesn't lie within that. It lies within collectively bringing them together. Because right now, all it looks like is when you have I always say I'm not a feminist, and it's not because I don't like women, it's because that would mean that I'm choosing sides, right?
Good.
So what's really beautiful is that we get to take a step back and see the ways in which we can merge together, the ways in which we can be unified in love within our masculine and our feminine, because that is where the healing is done. So, with that being said, anybody have any thoughts on that? I would love to hear.
It's called the inner marriage.
The inner marriage. Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. Yeah. Because right now I look at it as like all the feminine is like poking at masculine and being like, but you've been in charge way too long, you know? Like, I want my turn, which is great. Have your turn. But where that real healing needs to, I shouldn't say it as if it's fact. I feel as if the real healing can be done on a much, much higher vibrational level when we learn how to bring men and women together in a way that makes us feel safe, in a way that makes us feel loved. And that's some really powerful stuff. Women, we are very, very powerful. Most women don't realize how powerful they are. And men don't realize how powerful they are. But there's this beautiful dance between men and women that we can do that isn't sexual, that isn't romantic, it's pure love. But we don't know how to do that dance. And that, to me, what I feel is where we need work on. So, if you guys don't have any more questions or any comments or any feelings, like anything like that, if you don't have any of that stuff going on, then we'll ohm it out.
Yeah. I want to say something, and I want to honor what you've been saying. Oh. Being a priest, it's always a challenge because of what you said. So everybody, I just invite you just to go to the first chapter of Genesis, the first book, the origin, and then listen to what our teacher has been saying today about the feminine energy and the masculine one. Intertwine it. It's not possible if we don't keep the balance. And sound, you were talking about that. Just go back to John's Gospel, the first chapter. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was, and it was. So, it's sound. And while we listen to it, then we'll be able to use what we have been given.
Yeah.
The temples of the Holy Spirit, our bodies, and then we'll be able to learn. So thank you for making it so clear.
Thank you.
Thank God for this opportunity so that we can bring this to our communities and people enjoy it.
Nothing is by mistake.
Nothing.
Everything is divinely timed.
Amen.
That is for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, I'm seriously in awe of how open and loving and receiving you guys are of me. I grew up in South Carolina, so I grew up in a very Southern Baptist area. And so this idea of masculine and feminine and the things that I'm sharing with you were not received in love the way that you guys are receiving me. So I really, really want to take that time to honor you and thank you for receiving me, because this is this is my purpose. And it is when we support each other's purpose regardless of what that purpose is, when we hold space for each other to speak our truth, to embody our bodies and to be empowered, that is when we come together. And we don't keep this, we're so separate, right? We're so opposite. Black, white, poor, rich, higher class, lower class, all these things. And they're just barriers that keep me away from you. And they're barriers that keep me separate from being able to really connect to who you are, to the essence of your being. Because I always tell people, I'm like, I really don't care what you believe. I just want to know how you feel. I want to know you. You can believe whatever you want to believe, and I will love you nonetheless. I want to know what drives you. I want to know what you feel. I want to know what your soul is yearning to share. That is what I care about. That is my purpose. Let's ohm it out, shall we? So we're just going to stay in our little circle here. If you don't know Om, you know Om. Yeah, you know Om. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Yeah. How many of you have Om'd before? Okay. Let's just get right into it. So we'll take a cleansing breath, and then we'll inhale to Om. So cleansing breath in through the nose. Open mouth, release. Cleansing breath in. Let's just keep oming. Present in this stillness and this silence.
Thank you. Man, it makes me laugh.
I'm just a reflection of you, sunshine. Would you like a hug? I'm give you a heart clap. I love her.
Yeah. Go. How are you?